we are ridiculously far in debt.
Yeah.
We owe a bunch of money. We have to raise more money to keep paying down the debt. So if the US government can raise money via bonds while paying less because the bonds are low, that saves the US government a ton of money.
A ton of
like massive amounts of money.
If you're a rich person or a pension fund or a government, someone with a lot of fucking money, you could pick a lot of things to invest in because you don't want to hold it in cash.
Right.
So you could put it in stocks, you can put it in bonds, you can put it in gold, you can put it in real estate. And what bonds are essentially IOUs from governments. They pay you back. Okay? A lot of time, especially lately, people have been putting their money into stocks because they've been going up. They've had so many good years. A lot of money's been in stocks. But the idea is, based on historical patterns, when stocks have a bad period, when they're crashing, when they're down, people flee to safety. So they go to things like real estate, gold, bonds. And bonds has always been the bigger one of the three.
And correct me if I'm wrong, bonds generally are going to be lower yield, but it's lower risk, right? It's like if you just want safe money that's pretty much guaranteed, that's where you go to, but stocks is the higher return.
Exactly. Bonds are guaranteed. So if you buy an IOU from the government, if you're America and you're like, can I borrow $100 million and I give it to you, you offer me a guaranteed 4%. And the way bonds work, this part gets a little confusing, it's like an auction system. So I say, I'm the US government, I need to borrow $100 million. I'll offer you 2% interest. And everyone goes, crickets. They say no. And I say, well, I'll offer you 2.5%, crickets. I say 3, crickets. I say 4. They go, all right, I'll buy some. And they buy some of our debt. So the more demand there is for bonds, easier it is for me to get a low yield. I can go for 2% and then everyone buys it. That was the big idea of tariffs, is like, okay, we're going to crash the stock market, but everyone's going to buy US debt and we're going to get a real low interest payment. They don't want to lose money in stocks. Everything else is unpredictable, but I can get a guaranteed 1% or 2% from America. Interest expense is like almost as big as our military budget right now. So we really need to get the interest rates down. So that was the idea. The problem is people were not buying American bonds. They just weren't doing it. In fact, they were selling them, which drives up, makes the bar, you have to go 4.5%, 5%. So it was rising because Japan was dumping. China technically didn't dump, but a lot of people were dumping. And so it was creating the opposite effect. And when both things are bad, it's chaos. I mean, it's like, it could break the whole system. Probably more than anyone needs to know, but a good way to understand like the plumbing of the financial system and what was happening and why it was so chaotic as of yesterday. Because the bonds were spiking, the stocks were going down, and that is a terrible double combo that needed something to change because it could get disastrous.